Hey guys, and welcome to more Honkai Star Rail. My addiction, of course. Today we're going to be talking about the Landaus, the best family in the game, the only family in the game. Wait a minute. So Bronya doesn't have a mom anymore. Hook still has her dad, I guess. Clara has the only legitimate family in the game. No adoptions needed to prove otherwise. We're not talking about Lynx. We're not talking about Japard. We are talking about Serval, the best 4-star starter in the game. Just look at her design. First of all, can we appreciate her design? Look at that hair. Oh my god. Look at that. Oh, it's just in the tattoo. Oh my god, she's so, like, look, she looks so amazing. Like, the design for Serval is just, it's just chef's kiss. Like, it's just so amazing. Like, I could stare at her forever. She's so amazing. I love her. Look at her idol. She's tuning her guitar. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, we need to hop into the video, of course. But I personally believe that Serval is the best 4-star starter DPS for multiple reasons. My biggest reason is that she almost single-handedly got me through the boss fight with Cocolia, which, if you've played through at least the first two, well, I don't want to say the first two, but the prologue and the first chapter of Honkai, then you'll know that Cocolia was the boss fight of Belobog. So, you know. But it was hard. It was definitely hard, but not too terribly hard. But having Serval on my team definitely helped that process a lot more than if I hadn't used her and built her to a tolerable degree. But anyway, we're gonna hop into it. This is Serval. She's maxed out, of course, maxed out ascension wise, and see level 80 out of 80. Her stats, and they're right here. Before we get into those though, her ability, she follows the path of erudition. I honestly don't, well, we can read it here. Multi-target damage, that's it is. Okay, so they do a lot of AoE, which is just great, you know? They target multiple characters, all that fun stuff. And this is, you know, level 60, her ascension stuff, level 20, 70, all that fun stuff. This is what her trace looks like. We can go into there and see it. It's in the shape of erudition, roughly. But as far as her light cone goes, the only part of her that isn't entirely maxed out is the light cone, because as you can see, it's only S3 when it should be S5. The issue is that I just haven't come across any more copies of her light cone. For whatever reason, it's hard for me to obtain. You know, I'd love to have her light cone S5 if I could, but, you know, you can't win them all. So, I guess while we're here, we'll read off what it does. The wearer regenerates 26 energy immediately upon entering the battle and increases ultimate damage by 48%. That basically means that as soon as she enters battle, her energy is at a set amount. Well, it regenerates to a set amount. That means if she's already had energy stored up from like previous fights or whatever, there's a potential that she can go into the fight with her ult already ready. And that has happened to me a few times. Well, more often than not, is what I mean to say. And so that's her light cone, and then it also increases the ultimate's damage by 48%. Now, keep that 48% in mind. when we go delve into her traces. But first of all, we're gonna go to her stats, all of her fun little stats. As you can see, her HP is boosted by 1,703, her attack is boosted by 987, her defense is boosted by 187, her speed is boosted by 25, and here's where things get a little dicey, because if you know me, you know the crit ratio it's either there or it's just so not there at all in the slightest. And this is one of those times where her crit ratio is just not there, because her crit rate is 38.6%, as you can see, but her crit damage is 114.8%. So she has a chance, well, she crits every third of the time, but when she does crit, it's a lot of damage. And while I love the damage output, I don't love the ratio. But, you know, it can't be helped, I guess. And this time I actually did, like, look into her relics, and I looked to see if there's anything I could really do about it. Her relics are actually pretty good, and I don't want to take my chances on messing that up, because it was hard getting those. It's hard farming for relics. If you've done it before, you know how hard it is. But, yeah, and so her break effect is 46%, her max energy is 100, her energy regeneration rate is 100%, of course, her effect hit rate is 33.1%, and her effect resistance is 21.6%. And her lightning damage boost is 48.8%, which is almost half. That's a lot of damage. Like, that's a lot of extra damage she's doing just strictly from lightning. So there's that too. So her stats are overall pretty good, honestly. It's just the crit ratio, but you know, it's what can you really do? I mean, there's some things I could do, but like, am I really gonna go through and do all that? I got lucky with her relics, so I'm gonna take what I got and leave it at that. Now we're gonna go into her traces. Trace wise, she has, they're all maxed out, of course, and as you can see, it's 7 and 12, because if I go down here to her etalons, you'll see that she has E6, so that means I have all 6 extra copies of her. And so I think in E2 and E5, no. Which ones is it? It's okay. So it's E3 and E5. Yeah. So E3 and E5 is when it upgrades the max capacity of the traces. So that's why you see not only is it 7 and 12, but the numbers are highlighted. And so we're going to start off with the bottom, the starter trace, which is our technique, and it says, "Goodnight, Bellabog. Immediately attacks the enemy. After entering battle, deals lightning damage equal to 50% of Serval's attack to a random enemy, with a 100% base chance for all enemies to become shocked for 3 turns. While shocked, enemies will take lightning DOT equal to 50% of Serval's attack at the beginning of each turn." So, in my opinion, attack is one of the... not attack? Oh my gosh. Lightning... Oh my gosh. Lightning-inducing shock is one of the best DOTs out there, because the damage, it adds... I feel like it adds up a lot more than what is it? Wind shear? I think it's called shear. And burn, as well as, frozen, and I think there's an imaginary one. No, I don't know. Frozen and entanglement, but I don't really count entanglement as DOT, because it kind of it has a different function than like the other ones. But yeah, that's her technique, and I think Shocked is one of the best DOTs to apply to enemies because it just does a lot of damage, whether they have lightning weakness or not. So the next one we're going to do is her skill, which is Lightning Flash. It deals lightning damage equal to 154% of Serval's attack to a single enemy, and lightning damage equal to 66% of Serval's attack to enemies adjacent to it, with an 80% base chance for enemies hit to become shocked for 2 turns. While shocked, enemies take lightning DOT equal to 114% of Serval's attack at the beginning of each turn. That was a bunch of numbers, a bunch of big numbers, really. But basically, her skill, which is a blast attack, it does big lightning damage to one enemy, and then the enemies on either side of that one enemy in particular take a fraction of that damage, and all enemies hit have an 80% chance, like of 80% flat chance of becoming shocked for 2 turns. And then once they're shocked, they take more lightning DOT that is equivalent to 114% of her attack. So that's a lot of damage that they're taking from the hit itself and then the DOT. So next we're going to do her ultimate. Here comes the Mechanical Fever. Deals lightning damage equal to 194% of Serval's attack to all enemies. Enemies already shocked will extend the duration of their shock state by 2 turns. So that's kind of self-explanatory. She just does a lot of damage to all the enemies, and then if the enemies are already inflicted with shock, they'll be inflicted for another 2 turns, which is quite literally exactly what it said. And then her basic attack is Roaring Thunderclap. Deals lightning damage equal to 110% of Serval's attack to a single enemy, which is a lot of damage. That's self-explanatory. I'm not gonna explain that one. And then her talent, after Serval attacks, deals additional lightning damage equal to 79% of Serval's attack to all shocked enemies. So basically, any enemies that's shocked, they're pretty much done for, because Serval is just taking them to Pound Town. Like she did the thing, and she's gonna keep doing it. These are bonus abilities. They're. I'm not gonna say they're not important because they are, but just not worth explaining too much. And so yeah, we're gonna get into her relics though. It's big boy time. Gotta love getting into the relics. She has the Band of Sizzling Thunder set, because of course she does, because it was literally made for her. And then she's also rocking the 2-piece Space Sealing Station set. That is a tongue twister for no reason, but it's neither here nor there. For the headpiece, its main stat is HP with, the defense, attack, effect hit rate, and break effect substats. And, as you can see, it's a pretty good piece. Wait, I always say this, but, can I compare it to other? No, okay. Yeah, there's nothing really better than that. Plus, I don't really have another one in the first place. So, this is the Band's Touring Bracelet. This one's also pretty decent. I feel like you should really focus on her attack. And, her attack and the lightning damage boost is what you really want to focus on, because everything that she does scales off of lightning and how much attack she does, or how much damage she does based off her attack. You get what I'm trying to say. So attack, she's very attack heavy, which makes sense, but in case you needed that reassurance, here it is. And they're not too bad. It's just the defense. It's always the defense substats that I just could definitely do without, because she doesn't necessarily need them. But This is where the bulk of her crit damage comes from, that good old 64.8%, which I'm not complaining. It's just that, the ratio is a bit wonky, but that's totally my fault, so yeah. And then this is the feet piece. The feet piece. Oh my gosh. Whatever. These are the feet. We have her speed. This is where the bulk of her speed comes from. Then we have double the attack subs, and then we have crit rate, and then break effect. And then her two-piece set this is where all her lightning damage boost comes from, because of course it is. 38.8% is a lot. That's a lot of lightning damage being dealt. And you know what? It's great. It feels great. Can't wait to show her off. And then this, it's carrying the weight of her HP. Love that. And, yeah. So, that's her relics, the fun stuff. Again, like I said, I feel like her relics are fine. It's hard to get the perfect set for her relics. So if the crit ratio is off, honestly, I'm not too bothered by it. She does well enough without it, honestly. I feel like the lightning damage boost is definitely offsetting her potential to crit more frequently, but it doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's totally fine. But again, also, you don't have to build her the way I did. It's just, all substantial. It depends on how you choose to use her, where you choose to use her. Like I said, she was my main DPS when I was first starting out, after I acquired her and a few additional copies of her. But also, she still serves as my sub DPS, despite being a 4-star. As many 5 stars as I have, no one comes close to doing as much damage as Serval does.